your opening statement. We'll take some questions.
It's good to see you guys. A lot of work to do for this next week. A lot of respect for our opponent, skill they have, the improved line of scrimmage play. It's a team that looks like they're trending up, and it's going to be a tough environment for us. A lot of positives for us in this game too, but it's going to take our best. The ability to take some time and put our game away that we just played. We're not going to see anything like that defensively, and so that was a quick look at and turn to our next opponent, and so we're excited about this Saturday coming up. Take any questions you guys got.
Dave, you talked about it the other day, but the impact that a big crowd and obviously winning has on recruits. I know you can't talk specifically about recruits, individually, but what kind of feedback have you been getting from maybe those that were like in attendance the other day?
I think it's people that want to believe, and there's just so much, whether it's losing or talking about losing or talking about fired or talking about just negative things, that they don't want to see anything positive. And so anytime you get that, you want to build on it.
Dave, defensively, is it easier to turn the page when you're going back to a more traditional style of offense? Is it hard to get out of that triple option mode, I guess?
There is a time in the springtime and fall camp where there was maybe a moment or so where you're wishing you would see, a fullback or maybe more of a pro-style attack or run attack because you wanted to see it. And now it just seems like it's been so many moons since we've seen a spread attack, where that was all we were seeing in the spring and the fall and fall camp. And so it's good to get back to that. We have plenty of one-on-one time throughout practice that we go through. But to get the scout work and to get back to some of the things that we were doing that seemed so long ago is good to do.
Dave, in looking at the film, the way and having a chance to look at that, what incremental improvements did you see from the week before the Utah game and after Air Force?
I thought offensively there was our receivers and our skill blocking for other receivers and other skill at a higher rate, more aggressive rate since I've been here. It's been the best that it's been on Saturday. I mean, we had Monterey blocking down the sideline. Josh Cameron's always going to do that. Keytron Jackson was doing it. Trigg is doing it. And guys that are finishing blocks for other guys that are getting 2 blocks for other guys. And so there was great care factor and effort with all that. All that's contagious. I thought defensively they had to take a little bit of persuading, but I think there was a bend but not a break, and there was, no one's going to score. No one's going to score a touchdown, not tonight. And so I think that still has to be developed, but you could feel that. So I think those are good things. Those need to be identity things.
Dave, what's DeQuan Finn's status, and with Sawyer doing what he did, is he your QB1 this week?
We're going right now day to day. DeQuan's out of his sling, and so we had practice this morning, so he was able to move around better. There's limitations on what we can do per day, but I think we're in a good spot. We had the Player of the Game award that we do when we win. Sawyer won that award, and so the team was really fired up and excited for him. And so we're going to take it, see what brings tomorrow, what DeQuan can do, and see how we progress, and hope to have an idea of what's it going to be prior to Saturday.
Secondary is probably going to face their stiffest test of the season against some of the skill players that Colorado has. Mm-hmm. What gives you the confidence that they're kind of ready for that challenge?
Well, Yeah, I have a lot of respect offensively for what they do. Quarterback makes some really hard throws. I think, if he knows what you're in, he eats you up, and the throws are out before the turns are made. And before the coverage has a chance to work a leverage or any of that. I mean, once he knows, it's bad for the defense. And then I think the skill is such to where you can only double cover so many people. And I think in the past, people have tried to mitigate all of that by trying to get to him before they get to you. And I think there is improvement on that side of it. You could see the talking and the communication up front, where they're able to hold off, and then you're getting, quarterback stepping in, taking hits as he's getting the ball out, and just like it's that's a whole NFL thing right there. And so I have a lot of respect, and it's going to take our best. We've been playing a lot of running teams, and so to go from one end to the other end is our task. And so it's a lot of work that needs to happen for us.
Coach, your thoughts on Bryson Washington and the game that he had on Saturday? Was that a pleasant surprise, or is that something you've been expecting from him?
We've been expecting it. Yeah, I'm glad that he's back. He needs to kind of stay back. Yeah.
Among that secondary group, Devin Bobby's really stepped up for you. What's gotten into him earlier this season? What's kind of allowed him to have this really good start?
I think he's playing more confident. I think he knows the defense. I think he's communicating and verbalizing and taking leadership on the field. And then I think some of the run game that we've seen has played into some of his strengths. I think Devin is an underrated and good coverage safety as well. And so we'll have an opportunity to feature that and see that here coming up. But I think he's a dude that loves football, and he doesn't want people to score. And so I'll take that.
You mentioned Colorado's improvement on the offensive line, but they still have had some issues this year protecting Shedeur. Do you dial up the blitzes, the pressure a little bit?
The formation is such. There's been a lot of 10 personnel, and there's even 5 wide, so 0-0 personnel we would call it. Early in the year, they have the ability to go 11 personnel, 1 tight end, with 3 receivers, but that is limited. In this last game, it showed up a little bit more, and they ran the ball some more than they usually do. But outside of that, it's been 4 wides, 5 wides. So the formation gets to where, if the numbers are not, they're counting on a 5-1 box, and or a 5-man box, a 4-1 box. If it ain't 5 guys in there, then they know something's up, and the ball's kicked out quick, and then you got to make a tackle in space. And so, there's all these things that to get the pressure that you have to say yes to. And you got to make sure that your people are in the right spot and your leverages are right to when you say yes. It's what you're asking for.
Coach, when it comes to Deion Sanders, what are your thoughts about how he's approached coaching Colorado and what he's done for that program?
I have a lot of respect for him. I think the energy and notoriety and the juice that he's brought to that program, we're gonna go into a homecoming game for them, and it's gonna be packed, and it's I think it's nationally televised. It's probably not for us, it's probably for them, and so I think he's doing a great job. I have a lot of respect for him.
Is it a different level of excitement for the start of Big 12 play?
Yeah, I think everyone knows that to harken back to the Three Amigos, that this is real. And, the intentionality of today leads to an outcome that we want on Saturday. And it has to be that way, where, the bright lights and the TV cameras and just all the things don't get in the way of what's right in front of us and what we've been repping since, Monday. And so we've got to be able to get that better this time than a couple weeks ago.
Dave, the difference in the running game from first half to second half, was it just a matter of holding on to the ball? How much did the passing game open that up, that kind of thing?
No, I think it was holding on to the ball. Yeah, we were moving the ball, I thought, early on. Air Force was getting 12, 13 play drives, and we were fumbling it, And so I think once we were able to hold on to the ball and really capitalize on momentum, the complementary football showed up in the second half particularly. And so that just always makes stuff, it makes stuff taste a little bit better when defensively he's playing fast, and then offensively you feel a rush of momentum and you go and drive. The 5-yard run is going to feel a little bit better than it was early when it was nip and tuck and we just fumbled, But I thought we were moving the ball throughout. I think ball security is a huge emphasis. I think defensively we got to get it out more. Offensively we've got to secure it. The way it's going right now is not sustainable.
With that helmet communication, have you found it easier to maybe make changes defensively than on offense with that communication?
I think there is an advantage there if the circumstances allow. If an offense were to go and get lined up early and show you where they're at, it gives you an ability to talk through things. I think you have to be careful with that too, because it's a little bit of it can be a little bit of a nuisance when you're kind of zooming in to your keys and what you want to see and everything if you're a dude on the field. But I think there is an ability to talk. We were talking about the depth of the fullback in this past game, and the fullback was deep. It's these set of things. The fullback is shallow. It's these other set of things, and so we were able to do that just with the headset and the way the timing works.
Do you have an injury update on Cooper Lands or Carl Williams?
We're both out today. Look good. Yeah, so we'll see. This would be a game where you sure would like to have Carl. And so we're hopeful that takes place and that, today looked good and tomorrow's going to be a bigger test. And then Coop looked good. He's all bandaged up. His ankle's about this big with all the bandages and all the things, but moved well. And so we're hopeful that we can get smaller Band-Aids on that thing closer to game time.
Same thing with Hal. How's Hal coming, or do you think he'll be back?
I think there's a chance for Hal. I think that's going to be he may not get the practice time that we would want him to have to get him, but there's a chance we get Hal.
Obviously, he didn't kick at all this last week with Palmer Williams. How much of a weapon is that, particularly like in a tight game where he can flip the field like that?
I think it's a strong one. I think the ability to be cohesive, and so huge kick with great coverage, right, where they're aligned, I think is what you're aiming for. And we've been able to do that, and so to do that consistently is a huge weapon. Especially when we do need to flip the field and we do need to get momentum. We talk about complementary football. The other side of it is that, hey, if things are leaking or things are going the other way, let's flip the momentum, and a punt like that can certainly do that. All right, thank you guys, appreciate it.